Hi, I'm Alexandra, founder and educator at Mama and Ruse, and today I wanted to show you how to adjust your preschool sized SSC. We love this carrier for so many reasons. It's super versatile. It's great for kids from about 2 years old, tutu pants, to 5 or 6 years old. So it's a really great option, really nice flexibility and versatility. I'm going to show you a few common things that we see that trip people up and how to fit it into our demo doll Hans. Hans is supposed to be about the size of a 1.5 to 2 year old child. So you'll get to see how that fits on a smaller child. So I'm going to set Hans down for a second. Here's the preschool SSC. Here are the different components to be aware of. So here, this is the waistband. You see we've got that nice magnetic pocket on the front and the lumbar support pad, which is removable if you need. Let's slide that off through there, okay, if you need to. On the waistband, on the inside where it would go against your body, we have an adjustment. The number one problem that we run into is that people don't realize that this is adjustable, this waistband. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now for this preschool SSC. So we're going to lift. You can hear the Velcro, and we're going to slide. So the second most common problem is that we have a child who's pretty small trying to get into the preschool carrier, trying to kind of get as much out of it as possible. And while I totally get that, I'm going to show you why it can be a little bit trickier to size a child in that small. Okay, so I just did the one size. So you just saw I lifted the Velcro, pushed it over. It does have little markings to sort of guide you, okay? And you see that fabric bunches up. So pay attention to that because it's going to be relevant. This is true with any adjustable carrier like this. So we're going to go ahead and do the other side. Move that in. Push that all the way down. They don't have to be even. They can be if you want to. These are just guidelines. These markings, they don't mean anything in particular. They're just guidelines to help you. Okay, so we've got our waistband. The second adjustment thing you want to be aware of is for the height of the panel. So it's super common to get this carrier and say, this is huge. It is huge. I love that. It's so versatile. But there is actually on either side of the top of the panel, there is a pull tab adjustment. So all you have to do is pull to get that height down. Now I'm going to adjust this down pretty far for Hans because Hans is going to be pretty small in this because he's one of the bottom sizes or the smallest sizes that should be able to really fit in this carrier. So I'm going to kind of show you what that looks like. And the newer it is, the more stiff this webbing is too. So that's also something to keep in mind. Now, if you're not sure what size your kiddo's in, it's easiest to just kind of hold them up against the carrier because we want them to be supported knee to knee, but we don't have to go all the way knee to knee for the child this age, okay? Less than a year old, the carrier needs to be fully knee to knee. If we are over a year old, it's okay if, if the child's, so long as the child's comfortable, it's okay. We like to see fully knee to knee when we can. So basically like a 6-year-old in this, it might not go fully knee to knee, and that would still be okay if the child is comfortable. So you want to kind of hold them up. It's kind of hard to see with him in my arms, but basically I want to kind of see, is this going to go knee to knee or close? This actually might be a little bit too narrow, but I want to kind of show you what it looks like when it's super narrow anyway, so we'll test that. And then the other thing you want to see for the height is you want to make sure that the panel is not going to go up above the base of the earlobe of your child when your child's in the carrier, okay? And you also want to make sure it's not below sort of this line here right at the armpit. That's going to prevent them from flipping backwards, all right? If it's too low here, they can just flip back. Okay, so those are the basic components. We can always adjust it later. That's the beauty of the adjustable carriers. We just gotta try things out and see what works. All right, I'm gonna set Hans down again one more time. I'm gonna show you a few other adjustment options. These straps can be crossed or regular sort of ruck strap. So if you wanted to change the straps, this is the arm strap adjustment, and you see it's got this nice safety elastic right here. So if I were to take this out, I would do that. Okay. And then I've got my arm straps here, which highlights another adjustment that you want to be aware of. This is called a perfect fit adjuster. This fabric floppy part and this webbing and clip. If I have this on me, I want you to see where the squishy part of the padding is, right? So this is just thin fabric, this is squishy. Okay, and this is what I would call mostly open, right? If I close it, so I take this and I close the opening, the fabric squishy part has now moved closer to the panel. Okay, so we call these perfect fit adjusters because they allow us to customize the fit by moving this padding where we want it to. So I'm going to show you that to you again. Okay, so this is kind of closed. This is where the squishy part of the arm is. If I open it, see how that squishy part has moved back. Okay, so that's what those are for, is to help move that around to be comfortable for you. I'm going to have mine partially open on either side. We'll see. And they don't have to be even. I have uneven shoulders. Mine are rarely even when I'm done, and that's totally okay. So long as everybody's comfortable, it doesn't matter. I'll go ahead and show this to you with the cross straps. So I'm going to loosen this. Okay. So you can kind of see what that might look like. It does have the ability to clip into that H. Just trying to show you where that is. It does have the ability to clip into that sort of H for the chest clip you're familiar with if you want or need it. I'm just going to show the cross strap for right now because why not? But it can be used both ways without a problem. This carrier can be used for front, hip, or back carries. It cannot be used for forward facing out. You also, quite frankly, wouldn't want to forward face out a child that is the size that this would fit. It would really hurt your body. I don't recommend trying it. Okay, so we've got our carrier set to a super small setting. I'm going to show you that cross straps I'm going to do on the front. We can do a little back demo also. I've got that on my back, lumbar pad there, going through the elastic, clipping in. Okay, that red button there, that's a safety that pairs with the elastic. So when I push that red button, it unclips, but do you see how it didn't go anywhere? That's because we've got that safety strap. Super important, and Lenny Lamb puts that safety strap on pretty much all the buckles, which is really nice to have, just in case it's there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put Hans, my demo doll, into this preschool SSC. Okay, where on your body should the waistband go? The larger the child, the lower on your body. Basically, you want your baby to be close enough to kiss. I've got Hans probably a little bit too high. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen this by sort of pulling. I got that all bunched up because it was away. So I'm going to loosen that by sort of pulling like that. And I'm going to show you some tricks with the waistband too. All right, I'm going to put that behind me. I'm going to reach with my opposite arm. Okay, and I actually really like with the soft structure carrier to kind of lift up first, even too. Down, hold baby, come across. Find that other side. It's definitely easier to do this when I'm not looking at the phone for video. So, okay, so I'm going to pop that there for that cross strap. Okay. Get Hans situated again. Take my other strap. Do the same thing on the other side. Grab. Loosen that a little bit to make it easier. Okay. Come down. Now I'm about 5'2". I have scoliosis. I have a pretty short torso. So I want you to kind of keep that in mind when you are watching me do these things, that your mileage may vary. Okay, Okay, so I'm going to clip that. So I'm just putting the elastic strap in. All right, so now I'm going to take a look at Hans, and I think part of the reason we're having trouble is because Hans could actually go a little bit wider in this. So I'm actually going to fan that out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this waistband to actually be more comfortable. This is another big place where people don't really, they get kind of frustrated with how waistbands fit. And that's totally understandable because they can fit differently on all kinds of different carriers. The kinds of things we want to see, we want this waistband to be about parallel, okay? The most common thing I see is that the waistband gets adjusted like this. People are like, it really hurts my back. You don't need a bigger lumbar pad. You don't need more of one. You need to adjust the carrier so that it's about parallel, okay? Then what I want you to do is I want you to hold on to this. Hold that so it's kind of, again, like up and down parallel. And I want you to tighten and kind of lift baby up to let you do that. It takes practice, okay? But you'll get it. All right, so now we can see my Hans baby could go into a wider width, and he could go into a taller height if I wanted him to. But keep in mind that you remember all that fabric that was sort of bunched up. So at this part in the adjustment, we want baby out into the panel. We don't want them to sit on top of the waistband. We want them out. That helps us to get the carrier positioned properly for the baby. It helps us to get the right waistband adjustment, and it helps us to get a more comfortable fit overall. So it's really something to keep in mind that when your baby is smaller and you need that tighter, it's just going to be a little bit harder. It doesn't mean it's not possible to use. I am a big fan of work with what you've got, right? So if you need a carrier this size for one of your children and the other is a little bit on the small end, you can fuss around and make it work, but know it'll be the most comfortable when they're a little bit bigger and they can fit it a little bit better. So I'm actually going to go in and see if I can. I don't usually try it this way. I want to see if I can adjust it a little bit. Now I'm doing this with a doll. I would probably do this with a real baby while they're there, but just because I've got a doll, just kind of to open up that waistband Velcro a little bit. And a quick tip, anytime you're adjusting a carrier and you are trying to adjust with baby in it, again, I don't necessarily recommend the Velcro. I think it's just harder to do. Anytime you're adjusting that way though, any kind of adjustment, try to get the weight of baby off of you. So whenever you're moving the waistband, etc., lifting that up is really going to help. Okay. So that's just one way to do that with that cross strap and the front carry. Now, most of you are going to want to do a back carry with an older child. So we can take a look at that real quick too. Okay. I'm just going to undo that safety strap. Undo that across from me. Those perfect fit adjusters really change the fit. Placement of the waistband really changes the fit. Getting baby in with the right height and width really changes the fit. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how one way that you can get baby onto your back. I'm going to pull this back over here so you can see. So I will sometimes just take, and I do this with hybrid carries too. Just kind of depends on my mood, how I want to get baby up and how I have the straps. But I can actually just kind of use straps to help adjust me. It's really hard to hip scoot. That's what I'm doing. It's really hard to hip scoot a doll. So please forgive my my struggles there. All right. And then just like if I were doing a wrap or anything like that, I want to reduce the slack as much as possible by lifting up. Now, of course, depending on your baby's tone, how big they are, I usually would have them, kind of hang on. My demo doll can't really do that, but, we do that there. And I would probably not, yeah, that's going to be hard to do for this example, to put it under my arms. I could do that. I could cross it also. Typically for this, I would have, in this style carry, I would have the ruck style. So that's what I have for you. I hope that that helps with the adjustment. So from here with the ruck strap, I would just clip this belt, okay? But there's baby. We can also remove that hood if we want to get baby down. Typically it's easiest to just kind of get them to your hip and down. But at this age, you can really kind of do what works best for you. And that's gonna be comfortable. That's gonna be okay. Again, just a quick video. If you need help, always reach out to us at mama-ru.com. The chat on the DM is a great way to reach us. You can also email us, contact@mama-ru.com. We're always happy to do one-on-one fit checks, and we have a great group of caregivers, facebook.com/groups/mama-and-rus, who are always happy to help answer questions and provide guidance too. Thanks so much, everybody, and I hope that that helps you enjoy your Lenny Preschool SSC.